Hey everybody, welcome to the DA Wrestling Podcast here. I am your host, Andrew Purcell. With me as always, his handsome Doug. And today we are doing the Dynamite AEW Dynamite review. Doug's looking
Freshly
really
shaven Doug.
sorry. Doug's looking really actually nice today too. He decided to copy his old friend Andrew's by shaving his head today because he's doesn't want
Oh,
to go to get
fuck
a
off.
barber. So, but yeah, like today on AEW Dynamite to review, we have Hangman Page and Claudio Castagnoli light up in the first match of the
Hold on,
card.
hold on. First, let's talk about Tony Khan getting clowned by just about everybody last night.
We'll get that in a second. We also have Samoa Joe doing an interview today with Swerve coming out and Hangman Bill coming out making claim to the thing. We'll talk about that. And Sting and Darby out had a Texas tornado match with Takesha,
Callis family.
the Don Callis family, Hobbs and Takesha. Anyway, first off, we're going to talk today about Tony Khan being shit on
A
Twitter.
baby. He was being a baby. Again,
Yeah.
I told you, we talked about this when he went on his little rant. What was it, like a month or two ago?
Mm-hmm.
We talked about it on the show. And so anyways, yesterday, he starts going off because someone brought up that Jinder Mahal and Seth Rollins um, fought for the NXT title back in 2012.
Yeah, I saw the tweet on Twitter and then I saw the response from Jinder.
The response from USA Network went, "What was the cage match rating?" Which was referring to Tony Khan's World's End conference call about how he refers to cage match to see to use as evidence as to how well they're doing as the company. So I thought it was just a harmless little joke.
Yeah.
And so Tony Khan decides, I don't know if this dude's like drinking when he does this.
It's a possibility.
I hope he's drinking when he does this because like this is not normal behavior, man. It's like, especially when you're the head of a company.
Well, I know Bischoff likes to shit on him a lot because Bischoff will go on Twitter and he'll just like explain like how he never crapped on when they were doing the Monday Night Wars, he never crapped on their creative. He just crapped on ratings, and how we're doing what they're doing better than him on ratings. He never crapped on a lot of stuff until that one night with the Mick Foley thing.
Yeah.
That's when it kind of turned.
Well,
that's when the whole thing went.
Right. And to be fair, Bischoff getting involved is kind of the pot calling the kettle black.
Yeah. I mean,
right.
But I think the difference between Bischoff and Tony Khan is I think Bischoff was trying to put WWE out of business, whereas Tony Khan is just trying to make it look like his company's better than WWE. But
Tony Khan just wants to slice the pie. I get that.
Yeah, and that's fine. Like, he's just going about it in a really silly way.
So here's the thing. I know that Eric Bischoff is very polarizing these days because either you love what that man has to say or you hate what that man has to say. I fall somewhere in the middle.
I'm in the middle with you. I could give two hoots in hell what he says, and other things he says make a lot of sense.
Right, because I will trust his experience.
Yeah, I mean, when you're the first person to really take on WWE which was a juggernaut at the time, right, and basically beat them for a year and a half straight.
Right, but let's remember that WWE was coming off their worst year ever in 1995.
That's fair, but at the same time too, because compared to WCW at that time, they were still a juggernaut. At the time, at the time, like
no,
like,
you're not wrong. You're not wrong. At that point in time, you compare the two, absolutely.
Yeah.
WWE, it's basically when you look at WWE to TNA.
Yeah, like WCW didn't get big until Hogan turned NWO. That's when they got big. And Hall and Nash Hall and Nash started coming out.
A little bit before that, but
start
of that, yeah.
That's when it really took over, right? I say that because that was pretty much the catalyst of what happened, of how it happened.
Right. But here's the thing, right? So Tony Khan starts he starts going on and on about like how Hook's 27-1 and that's why he's lined up for a world title shot, whatever. And Jinder Mahal hasn't won a match in about a year. And that the thing is, it's pro wrestling. Who gives a fuck?
Yeah, I think
Like,
I think they're
this
trying
is
to.
such a stupid. And to
Well,
be
when they
fair,
okay,
Jinder replied with, "Who the fuck is Hook?"
I saw that. I laughed my ass off when I saw that. Well, it's like, and he's like, the thing is though too, like one thing that separated AEW very differently from WWE when they first came out was the fact they did make sure that wins and losses mattered.
Yeah,
Right, that was the first year or so, 2 years.
but they
Right,
got rid of the ranking system like
yeah,
2 years ago at this point, 3 years
yeah.
ago.
It's been gone for a while now. But when it first came out, it was the ranking system. Now, like they should have just stuck with the ranking system because that was fine.
Because
It
my
made it
biggest
interesting.
go ahead, because it's like my biggest thing is like companies will introduce ranking systems, and then abandon it. TNA had one for a while.
Yeah.
Even WWE had one for a while after the second brand split
Mhm.
in 2016.
Yeah, but the WWE doesn't do well with those things there. Like AEW was doing it well with that. And it was making a lot of sense because like you knew if you followed it at the time when Jericho was the champion, you knew Moxley was coming up. His win loss record was like next to fucking perfect, right? Or was perfect.
To be
And
fair, to be fair, John Moxley has lost maybe 7 singles matches in the 5 year history of AEW.
yeah, he only loses when it really makes sense for him to lose.
I might be able to count on one hand the amount of people that have beat him.
Well, I know Kenny did.
Kenny beat him twice.
Yeah. But are you counting those two as two? Because if not, then you gotta
That's
take
but
away.
that counts for 2 losses,
Okay.
right? Punk beat him once.
Yeah. Hangman.
Hangman beat him. Did Hangman beat him twice? Is that
No, I think
no,
Hangman beat him once, and he beat Hangman. He beat Hangman once because he had that was the whole concussion thing. He technically
Kenny
got the win for that.
Kenny Omega?
Yeah,
Technically Ray Phoenix?
yeah,
I mean, like you don't. I mean, there's maybe one or two more guys. Eddie Kingston.
yeah.
Like
Forbidden Door they lost. BCC didn't win that, but that's a BCC, so
no,
that's
I'm
different.
talking in singles matches, dude.
Okay, I was just wondering if you
Yeah,
had count that. So okay.
yeah. But like, but that's the thing, right? So you knew that Moxley was always going to be in the title picture because he didn't lose,
Yeah,
you know? So, and then like now, okay, you've been building Hook up for like 2 years now, which is
yeah,
cool. And he's about to get squashed by Samoa Joe next week.
yeah. I don't. Well, we'll get to that. We'll get to that in a bit. But
Yeah,
yeah, I don't
we'll talk
see.
about that in a minute. But
Yeah,
there's no fucking reason for you to turn around and shit on the booking of the other side.
yeah,
Like they don't even acknowledge you, bro.
yeah. Like that's the one thing too. Like,
They're so far ahead. They don't even acknowledge you.
yeah, that's the one thing that's very different from WWE. They don't. I mean, they'll make Pearl a corpse here and there. I know they did in the early going,
Well,
especially at the
I
DX
I
Hall of
find
Fame
them
ceremony. But they do
I
it.
find them taking a like I found a few more references lately
Yeah,
because of CM Punk being
yeah,
back.
yeah. But it's more or less
But
very few and far between.
exactly. It's like
You know.
but they just had their most successful year ever.
Yeah.
And I can't even think of an AEW reference from last year,
No.
right?
No.
And but the problem is because AEW it is comprised of a lot of ex WWE guys,
Well,
and they don't want to ignore the continuity
I
of the
think I think though too. The reason why you're not hearing anything about AEW on WB TV two is look who's in charge now.
like
When that other guy was in charge, he purposely left them
oh, I'm
both
sure
broken for
I'm sure he
sure.
would. I mean, to be fair, they never like they very rarely acknowledge the TNA's existence.
Yeah, it's very odd, very rare. Like they did the
When
one time at the Rumble with Mickey James was in it,
right, but
or
that's the
Styles occasionally.
I mean, no, that's the thing. They've never talked about the fact that he was their world champion. He was the face of that company. they talk about
they
they
mentioned
talk
him as
about what he
TNA, but they never actually mentioned. Yeah, you're right. They never mentioned he was a champ, but they mentioned TNA before.
they talk about him, his stuff over in Japan,
Yeah,
right? But that's the thing, is like I remember Kurt Angle telling Owens and Zayn like a number of years ago, "Oh, my tag division's full, but I hear TNA's hiring."
yeah,
That was like the first time I'd heard those three letters on WWE TV in forever,
fair enough.
right?
Yeah.
And but the problem is like I feel like sometimes half of AEW's programming is talking about WWE.
Yeah, they should just try to keep their own, just build their own stuff up more, because that's kind of what they
Right.
should be doing. Like, focus more on who you have and what they're building, right? Look, the fact is, a lot of WWE people who've gone there have not done very well at all. If you look, with a few exceptions, but most of them have not done well at all. But anyway,
Right.
let's get to if you like the content right now, man, like go give us a like, a sub, share, and subscribe, man. This is really important to us. It helps us out the channel. Just don't be afraid. Just subscribe and give us a like and share. It'd be great. Anyway, but I mentioned
My
WWE
last
though.
my last word on this is Tony Khan, get your shit together, bro.
Absolutely. But since we're on the topic of WWE anyway,
Mm.
WWE, this was kind of a WWE, a little bit of a WWE, not really show, but a show in general. It was AEW Homecoming at Daly's Place, and it was more or less a Brodie Lee tribute. As we all know, the late Brodie Lee, aka Luke Harper, had passed away a couple years ago while he was in TNA. While he was in AEW at Daly's Place. So it was a little bit of a tribute show today, and rightfully so. Because to be honest, I think his it's coming up, his anniversary, this
We just
passing.
passed it.
Yes, just passed.
We
Okay,
we
just
just passed it. I think he died Boxing Day or something
Yeah.
like that,
Okay.
or
So
the 27th,
yeah. So it was a bit of a tribute show. It was quite nice actually.
which is
But
fun. Yeah.
it started out today with a great match with Hangman Page and Claudio Castagnoli lighted up as a four. I say it was a 4 out of 5 star match for sure. It was really good. Good way to open it up, especially
Can
back
I
at
just
Daly's
say
place.
like there's a lot of consistent performers in AEW, but to me, nobody shows up for big shows like Hangman.
And Hangman has a new look. You're right. And Hangman has a bit of a look to him. He's a little bit looking a little bit like Magnum TA from the '80s. I swear to God,
At least
I'm not joking.
wrote the
I
handlebars.
swear to God, if you look at him and look at a picture of Magnum TA, you swear to God, it's almost a spitting fucking image.
Missing a little chest hair too.
Oh yeah, but it's definitely a
Yeah.
look there. It was a really good match, good opening match of the card. Really got the fans fired up for the match. It was nice
Who
to
went
see
over?
Hangman Page ended up winning, being Claudio. So that was good. Then after that, they did show a Brodie Lee package. So they talked about how he came over to TNA, was the whole mastermind of the Dark Order, and Mr.
Mm-hmm.
Brodie Lee, how he became the greatest TNT champion of all time. And basically that's what they mentioned. It was more or less a tribute show. So it was really cool to see. Match number 2 though was the 8-man tag. It was Brodie Lee's handpicked man, Vance, Preston
Mm-hmm.
Vance, Adam Copeland, Dustin Rhodes, and Orange Cassidy versus the Gates of Agony,
Mm-hmm.
Brian Cage, wear those Streets of Rage fucking pants again, and and a Lance Archer. And I gotta tell you, man, like I don't see I when Lance Archer first came into AEW, he was being used a lot. He hasn't been used a lot lately. I know he's been injured on and off here and there, but I swear, guys, that guy's got some of the coolest music to come into. It's just a great
Yeah.
tune. Good match, 3.5, 3.5. I'd say out of 5 stars from what I saw in some reviews. Um, the good guys won. Vance won, but got the
Yeah.
pin for a tribute to Brodie Lee, and it was really nice to see. Overall, it was just a good match. Nothing really too crazy. I still can't get over how Brian Cage is wearing those Streets of Rage pants again. I'm like, what the fuck, man? Like, just point out the Sega, man. Just point out the Sega.
Listen. Brian Cage is like a mega nerd.
Oh yeah, for sure. A bodybuilding mega nerd that could throw you.
Yes.
You know. Uh, After that,
Can I share a quick Brodie Lee story for you though?
sure.
So I've talked to you before. I have a friend that I grew up with that became an independent wrestler here in Ontario. And we went to his retirement show in March, and the first show I went to go see him wrestle at was like 2012, maybe 2011.
Yeah.
And he actually was in a match with Brodie Lee.
Yeah.
Now, it didn't click for me until much, much later than it did that Luke Harper and then Mr. Brodie Lee was the guy that wrestled my friend.
Yeah. Oh, I wrestled Justin Sane.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool, actually. That's gotta be like really cool for Justin, to be honest, to do have shared the ring with a guy like that.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like he went through, like, he was working with like Ethan Page, Josh Alexander, who are kind of prominent guys now, but like especially Josh Alexander.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I just thought I'd share that cool little.
That's really cool.
Yeah,
that's really cool. I mean, especially for Justin Sane, like it's
yeah,
for a guy who got a chance to do that, who I'd done a few big shows for TNA and done a lot of it on the independent scene. To be able to share the ring with the late Brodie Lee or Luke Harper, if you want to call him, is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Next up though, Bullet Club Gold came in and had an interview, and it was a bit of comical. The Guns are trying to mention.
Are they babies now? Are they baby face?
I don't really know, but I'll get to it in a second. But the Guns were talking about Jay White there, say how Jay White's he's from England, and Renee's just like he's from New Zealand, and Jay's like just let him go. They're just trying to have a good thought here. It's pretty good. So he's just having a good laugh at it. Meanwhile, the Acclaim come in and offered to basically team up with the Bullet Club Gold, call themselves the Bang Bang Scissor Gang, and basically in order to take on the Undisputed Kingdom and take all the gold instead of the Undisputed Kingdom doing it.
That is catchy as fuck, and that confirms it right there. By the way, yes, Bullet Club Gold are now baby faces.
Yeah, and Anthony Bowens.
Listen, man, I have nothing but respect for Anthony Bowens.
Yeah,
like,
and to be honest, he's a really good wrestler.
Absolutely,
he's a very good wrestler.
Yeah.
Like this whole stick with the Acclaim is quite. I'm not the biggest Acclaim guy, but they are pretty cool. Like some of the raps they do
I think if you could make one single star out of that team, if you eventually break them up, it'll be Bowens.
Yeah, Bowens has the personality.
Caster has the mic skills.
Yeah, but that's kind of why they work really well together.
But I think Anthony Bowens is more like the total package.
Yeah, I think Bowens is definitely the better wrestler than Caster.
Yeah,
for sure. Anyway, after that we get to ringside where Samoa Joe comes on out in his suit, looking all sharp with his nice with his nice AEW title. He basically says he wants
to get TNA on your brain because it's like the third time you've had to correct yourself.
I can't help it now. But Joe's part of that history. But anyway, so Joe comes out and talks about how he wants the division to change, like basically taking on all comers. I mean, who the hell wants to fight Samoa Joe? Then, out of nowhere, everybody, Swerve comes out. I start hearing, whose house? Swerve's house. And I was like, he's first time at Daly's place. You got a nice reception. You got probably one of the biggest receptions there.
I've been saying it for a couple of weeks now. Like, Swerve in 2024, it would not shock me in the slightest if that man is world champion by the end of the year.
Well, Swerve made mention that the last guy who stepped up to him and said he was just like, it wasn't personal, he's just going to take his spot, was Hangman Page, and he did that, and then told Joe he's going right after the title. And Joe, him get to a little bit of a mouth going on, right? No mic really around.
Out comes Hangman.
And out comes Hangman Page, who looking like the fucking Magnum TA. I swear to God. And then he comes down and basically picks a fight with pretty much all of them. But they don't get into a scrap, right? It just goes off on more or less directing his anger towards Swerve and then saying to Joe he's coming for his title in 2024. He wants to end the title 24. And after all that happened, Joe's ready to celebrate, just show the title up. Out comes Hook, saying how he is challenging him in 1 week from now, which is going to be a very interesting match.
This was announced like on Collision, I believe.
I was he said in like a promo package that he wants to go after Joe for the title.
Right.
It wasn't officially announced till tonight during the show.
Okay.
I'll be honest with you, Hook's not ready to get the world title at this point. It's Joe is probably going to kill him, and
This is
Hook's
this is
good, but he hasn't faced anybody like Joe.
I don't know. Yeah, exactly. Like I think
Like Joe's on a different level than everybody.
everybody listen, everybody in AEW can go. All right.
Yeah.
There's no question about that.
Mhm.
And I don't doubt Hook's working ability.
No.
But the problem is he hasn't been involved with enough. Like he's been like on the low card. He's
Yeah.
been with he's been
Opening.
with low
Yeah.
card guys. Move
Mhm.
him up. Move. This is a way for if he has a good showing against Joe,
Yeah.
which I hope that they at least give him something.
Yeah.
Then you can move him to the mid card, and you
Mhm.
can have him start working his way up.
Yeah.
Right.
I think before he even tries to go for that AEW title, he needs to go for that TNT title.
I think he could. I think he could be TNT champion by as soon as the end of this year.
Yeah, I'd rather see him go for the TNT title. But if you want to go against Joe, Joe's going to smack him around. Like I'm sure he'll get offense in on Joe for sure. But
Yep.
I think Joe's going to put him in that Coheta clutch and call it a fucking day.
Yeah.
So it's going to be game over for him. And as long I
Joe's
mean,
gonna look like a bear compared to
and he is like Joe compared to Joe, the size of Joe compared to Hook.
Joe.
He's
Joe
got at
with
least
that
100 pounds on
Joe
him.
with that Coquita clutch on next week is gonna look like a panda bear climbing a fucking tree.
Yeah, Joe is literally you can sit there and say Joe's going to kill you because Joe is going to
Yeah.
kill him.
Yeah.
Uh, really cool. That was really cool though. Next up though, uh, Sammy Guevara versus Ricky Starks, one-on-one match. Now next week they announced that I believe it's next week. Yeah, next week they announced that Jericho and Sammy Guevara will be taking on Big Bill and Ricky Starks for the AEW tag team titles. But they had a little bit of a singles match here with one-on-one.
Mhm.
Good match, nothing crazy. Sammy Guevara got a nice reception at Daly's Place. Daly's Place original for the most part, guys. Um, yeah,
He's one of the pillars, man. And
yeah,
that's the thing. That's the thing. Like they definitely dropped the ball with how they handled Sammy when he was riding so much momentum in the summer of 21 or 22 when he won the TNT title from Miro.
yeah. When he won that title, they started hopscotching it for a while. That title
Well,
between
that's the thing. Like
yeah,
you lost all momentum with that Scorpio Sky feud,
yeah,
right? And you've had a hard time rehabbing him.
yeah,
And I think I think this is how you rehab him, where him and Jericho, I have no doubt, are going to win the tag team titles next week.
yeah. I don't feel it's working with Starks and Big Bill. I just don't think it's
It's not
working.
even the fact it's not working. It's like they've had the title for 2 months.
Yeah,
Like, it's
it's not.
okay. Not again, like I'm gonna keep saying it on this show until someone fucking understands me. Not everything has to be a 4, 5, 6 month title reign.
No, you're right. I think there has to be right, but
Yeah.
if it's not working, this is probably why they take it off too. If it's working, then
Because
it's even longer.
here's the way I look at it, right? If you want wrestling to somewhat look like a sport, which is how it's presented.
Yes.
It's presented as a competition, right?
Mhm.
How many times in MMA do you see a guy win a title and then lose it in their next fight?
Happens almost all the time.
Happens all the time in MMA,
Yeah.
right?
Well,
So
unless your names, yes, you have certain names on you.
so because maybe it's because of the MMA fan in me,
Mhm.
I literally have no problem with a guy winning a title and losing it in his next match or his first defense,
Mhm.
you know? And because everyone wants everyone to get their flowers. And yes, everyone that can do pro wrestling is way better than I'll ever be on an athletic scale. Okay.
You heard it from the horse's mouth, everybody.
Like, but not everybody, there's only so many spots on the card,
Yeah, it's true.
you know? So the guys that get over the most are going to be on the top.
Very
And
true.
and then, that's why there's upper mid card, right?
Yeah.
So if Starks and Big Bill lose the title next week, so fucking what? Because I think you can use a tag team title reign with Sammy
They're,
for
they're, they're going to push that for a while. They're going to push that hard.
right. That's
100%.
how you can start rehabbing Sammy as a baby
Yeah.
face. Because people don't want to boo this guy right now because fucking first of all, he was out with a concussion. He just had a kid.
Yeah.
Like, and this is
Well,
the
it
next
showed too, because like Big Bill beat up Sammy after, and then Jericho came out and they popped for Jericho and Sammy together was huge. So
right.
that's kind of where they're going to go in for that. By the way,
Yeah.
match after that, women's match kind of tribute to Anna Jay was in it. Another one of Brodie Lee's
Yeah. Original
handpicked
Dark
people.
Order. Yeah.
Yep. Thunder Rosa, Statlander, and Willow Nightingale versus Saraya, Ruby Soho, who I love too, Skylight Blue, and my number 10 pick for wrestler last year was Julia Hart too. That girl just keeps on getting better and better and better. Probably the highlight of that was when there was like an 8-woman suplex, which was kind of cool.
Oh, eight people Tower of Doom. Nice.
Yeah, which is cool. And Jay got the pin. Once again, really tribute. Very happy for it. It was a good match. It is what that was, right?
So
Nothing really got accomplished out of it.
Can I point out the logic flaws in both Anna Jay and Preston Vance
Sure.
being baby faces on this show?
I feel they should be heels.
First of all, they are.
Yeah, I know, but they feel they should be more heels.
Secondly, they're the two people that turned on the Dark Order.
Yeah.
Okay. Anna Jay left them.
Yeah.
I believe to join Jericho. And then
the appreciation.
And Preston Vance fucking ripped the mask right in front of -1.
Yeah.
That was a pretty powerful angle when they shot it.
Yeah.
And then I guess maybe all is forgiven.
I guess it's just I think it was just because it was a tribute show. You probably see him go back to it.
I get it.
We've seen tribute shows before, right? Where people all of a sudden the bad guys aren't the bad guys anymore, right?
Was Uno, Reynolds, and Silver on this show?
No, none of them were.
See, that doesn't make any fucking sense.
I know. There's lots of things that make no sense.
You want to pay tribute to Brodie Lee, but his number one, Evil Uno, his right hand man, is not on that show.
When you go back to thinking about the Brodie Lee promos during his time in AEW, they were really good, really comical. Yeah. Like they were actually.
Well, see, that's the problem. They never really let him speak in WWE. They always kind of have Bray do all the speaking for him.
Yeah, like when he's a very good promo. Like his whole character, Mr. Brodie Lee, was literally based off of, from what I understand, Vince McMahon. In a sense,
that's cool.
Like from what I understand, it was based on Vince McMahon. Like some of the, like the way he would talk to people and stuff. That's kind of how that worked. Next match, short match, really quick match. Roderick Strong versus the Bounty Hunter, Brian Keith. Quick match.
Brodie won with the and a heartache, right?
Yep. Promo by Adam Cole and the Undisputed Kingdom. Basically, Cole just go out and said there's gonna be changes. They're taking over AEW. They want to hold all the titles. They're gonna make. They basically said how Wardlow basically got thrown into the side because of MJF. The Kingdom and TNA, Kingdom and Ring of Honor was absolute shit on by everybody. So this is kind of like their revenge tour in a sense. So we just see what happens. I'm looking forward to this whole Undisputed Kingdom, what they're going to do. I do really like the whole Undisputed stuff. It's really cool. That's just
so. Can we just remember that Adam Cole turned on the Kingdom to join the Bullet Club?
Apparently.
We're all keeping continuity alive, right?
Well,
and Adam Cole turned on Roderick Strong the last time the last time Adam Cole was on fucking TV in WWE.
Yeah.
Right? So, I understand keeping some continuity.
Well, different companies, I guess.
Yeah, right.
I guess like this company, we're all friends. That
Hmm.
company, fuck you, and this company, fuck you. But Cole,
Yeah,
I mean, it just shows that Cole really can't be trusted at the end of the day.
yeah.
You know, it's good though. I'm surprised you actually wasn't on that show before I get to the final of the Texas Tornado match for the final match tonight.
What's up?
I'm surprised the one person who wasn't there tonight, who was a big part of Daly's play, especially during the pandemic, Britt
Mm.
Baker. Surprised she was not there for that homecoming because she basically made her whole name
Oh yeah.
at
Oh
Daly's
yeah.
place during the pandemic. You know, and
Hmm.
I'm kind of surprised she wasn't there. I don't understand what's really going on with Britt Baker.
There's only so much you can do in 2 hours.
True, but you could at least have Britt Baker. Like Baker
But
should have
that's,
been on there for sure.
I'll be honest, like that's what I can kind of appreciate about how big AEW's roster is.
Yeah,
Is like you're not overexposing these guys.
yeah, it's true.
Pardon me, but you're not overexposing these guys. And you're able to drag out stories longer because of it.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, on WWE, they're running with a rather razor thin roster.
Is it though?
In terms of who they feature on television, yes.
Yeah, they have a big WWE has a big roster. They just don't feature as many fucking people, but they also have a lot of TV channels and a lot of time to fucking film. So sometimes some of your favorite guys aren't seen on Raw or SmackDown, but they're seen on like somewhere else. That's why they have NXT now.
Yeah.
Anyway, Texas Tornado match: Sting and Darby Allin versus well, uh,
Don Callis family.
that's it. I don't know why I forget that sometimes. Don Callis family, Hobbs and Takeshita. Look, everybody here probably saw Sting was going to win. Sting and Darby, they're going to win. Some crazy spots here.
Sting is
Darby,
gonna win. Sting's gonna win every match between now and Revolution.
absolutely. Craziest part of the match. I swear to God, Darby's gonna be a fucking paraplegic at some point. Some of the stuff that he's doing, like he jumped off. I don't know. It had to be 20 feet, and Takeshita barely caught him, and he went pretty much smack back first to the ground. You could tell he was in excruciating pain. Like Darby's gonna kill himself at some point. Like he is like Jeff Hardy, but like worse. Like the guy's a good wrestler, but he's just like
So like
he needs to like smarten up a little bit.
what's wild to me is like he fucks up his shoulder, right?
Yeah,
And then he goes to Nitro Circus
yeah,
and goes to like backflip or something on a bike or a skateboard or something and
yeah,
lands right on the bad shoulder.
yeah. Like
Um,
like I remember this guy got thrown down
this
at
guy's just
Daly's
living.
place.
Honestly, this guy's just been living life, no regrets, man.
Yeah, but like he's like I remember like we were at Daly's place and during the pandemic. I can't remember who it was. It was Darby. I think it might be Ricky Starks. And
Mm,
they threw him down a flight of concrete stairs, like outside the building. Like that was messed up.
Jesus. Yeah.
Like that was really messed up. Like you need like he's gonna need to have a come to Jesus moment, have a talk one day with somebody who you talk to because
And people try to tell him to slow down.
yeah,
But like,
he's going a little much to the point where he needs a his health comes first. He wants longevity in this wrestling industry, then he's gonna have to start slowing down with it. Some guys
I don't think he wants longevity though. I think
maybe
he just wants to
maybe
do it,
maybe
make a couple $1 million and
yeah,
just go live
yeah.
life.
Even Jeff slowed down a little bit. Of course, he also got forced to slow down too, do the drinking and all that stuff. But anyway, big news of the
Talk about a guy who could never get out of his own way.
yeah. Too bad too, because he had ample opportunity to be a very long
If
time serving champion.
if he had just gotten out of his own way at certain points,
Yeah,
he'd be one of the biggest stars of all time
yeah,
for how universally loved that guy was.
yeah. But biggest news probably of the whole night was return of the Young Bucks, and it looks like we're gonna have who Sting will face in a tag match at Revolution will be the Young Bucks versus Sting and Darby Allin.
So
I guess
the
they're not
young
gonna go that
bucks are
single
gonna
route.
young bucks are gonna retire Sting.
By the looks of it, they came out at the end and they were staring at him eye to eye. And it looks like that's where they're going to go. Sting, Young Bucks
I
versus Sting
hope
and Darby at Revolution.
I honestly there's a way you can do this. Hold on. Revolution's still like 7 weeks away, right? It's the first weekend of March.
March 3rd. It's actually the day before my birthday, I believe.
That's my kid's birthday.
My birthday's a little more important, but okay.
We'll talk about it.
Sure.
But I see you could do that match in a couple of weeks on a Dynamite. Have Darby.
They may. I'm guessing right now, folks.
I know. So am I, because I saw that rumor online too.
Okay.
Um,
I just got that from looking Dynamite tonight.
no, I got that rumor online while I was waiting for you to get on. But yeah, you can do that near the end of the month on Dynamite.
Yeah.
Have Darby turn on Sting in the match, then you have Sting and Darby.
Oh, I forgot to mention you. That's a good idea, but I forgot to mention you too. Ric Flair was in attendance in the match, and he chopped Hobbs, then poked him in the eye, and then left. Feel free to put your comment in right down below, folks, how you feel about Ric Flair being there.
I mean, you're giving TV time to Ric Flair, and like you have so many guys back there.
Well, that's just it too, right? Like I said, Ric Flair was on TV and Britt Baker wasn't. Just saying. I'm just saying.
Yep. Anyways, yeah, that's what I would do. Honestly, I would do the Young Bucks match in a few weeks on Dynamite.
Yeah, they may. Yeah.
And you can do something where the Bucks win and Darby gets pissed at Sting, and then set up a singles match at Revolution.
Mm-hmm.
Although I have heard people say they don't want to see Sting in a singles match at this point. But
well, look, I mean, face the facts here, right? What we're really, I mean, I don't know. I shouldn't say that at all. If you're gonna go out and retire, you should go out. You're back in a singles match, not in a tag team match. So that I can see where that point is.
Yeah.
Same time too. I think Sting should just retire. Forget about the last match stuff. As long as I just think he should. Like,
no, he should probably stay retired.
Yeah, I don't think he needs the last match at Revolution. I just don't. I don't think he needs it at all. I think he's just doing it.
This is probably him just like finishing up his contract.
That's my guess. Is the only thing I could think of is that his contract probably will end at that point. I think he's retiring.
But yeah,
whether or not he stays on as a personality, I don't know, but I don't think he wrestles again.
No, I think he's ready to just go spend time at home.
He spent a lot of time at home for years too, so I think he's now. I think his body's kind of really caught up to him now at this point.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, how long did Undertaker stick around for? Right. Sting's been around longer than Taker has for sure, as far as wrestling goes. But.
Well, to be fair, Undertaker wrestled Sting in like 1988.
Yes, it was. Yes, but it wasn't exactly Undertaker. It was me and Mark Calloway.
No, I know, but Sting. I'm just saying the guy who played the Undertaker, you asked how long he was around for. He was around for like 30, 35 years.
Yeah.
Right? Sting's been doing this for 40.
Yeah.
And you know what? Hey, if for everything that man has done for the business, like especially in the 90s, if he wants to do a couple matches on his way out before Revolution,
that's fine.
Just fucking let him.
Hey, I'll be honest with you, man. Like, I wasn't a big fan of Sting in the late 80s. It wasn't until he turned into Crow Sting is where I really got into Sting.
Stinger was one of my favorites growing up, man.
I couldn't stand Beach Bum Sting.
Him and the Macho Man.
Couldn't stand
it. Sting was my superhero back then, man.
Sting was the Crow Sting was the one I liked the most.
Yeah,
but that's just me.
Thanks Scott Hall for that.
Absolutely, the great Scott Hall.
So,
and that is, folks. So that is a AEW Dynamite review. Nothing really crazy going on. Next week, though, Samoa Joe versus Hook. Nothing else really has been mentioned. The Chris Jericho and Sammy Guevara versus Big Bill and Ricky Starks tag team title match. Those are two matches already announced for the card for there. I'm sure Joe's going to kill Hook, and I'm sure Jericho and Sammy Guevara are going to win the tag team titles. And from the sex gods will become once again. So that is basically it, folks. Thank you for enjoying our show. Doug, I think you should take us out here before I start doing my Harry Potter spells and all that stuff again.
Yeah, which one are you coming up with this week?
I don't know. I'll think about it right now.
Okay.
While you're doing that,
You can follow us, find us everywhere except Apple. You can follow the show DA Sports Podcast on Instagram, DA Sports Pod on X. Find us on YouTube, DA Sports Podcast or DA Wrestling Podcast. You'll find us on YouTube. Andrew's doing great work over there. He's getting better with the editing. And we're just trying shit at this point.
the editing's getting good, fun, guys. And take a look. It's getting more and more interesting every single time I do them. More pictures, more everything, more. Let us know what you think, what you guys want in the videos too. If you want just more moving scenes and talking scenes, let me know. We'll see if I can do that. I'm learning new shit every single time. Finish off, Doug.
He is a Purcell 1982 on Instagram, Andrew at DA Sports on TikTok. I'm D Lions 1991 on X, and we'll catch you now.
Expelliarmus!